A hell of a garage cleaning project. This project came from a person whose husband had gone to the hospital, and she was really upset for a long time about the way he was living, and he had not taken care of his health, nor did he heed any warnings about his health problems or lifestyle. So he's at the hospital recovering for a few weeks, and the wife was when I first walked in, set my drink down and my stuff. So this was a project for me to get started on, just to get an idea of what I'm doing and how much work it's going to take. And I want proof of what it looked like beforehand, because some people who you work really hard for will turn around and tell you you didn't do enough. And having a photo of before and after can help a lot to clear that up. So the initial project I was given when I wrote it down was not deep cleaning, but it was sorting and organizing this mess. A lot of things were in packages still that were chewed by mice, that had mouse poop in and on the packages, dead mice on the packages. Things were really, really filthy. And so my initial instructions from the person who owns this garage was to sort and organize and sweep up that horrible floor. So as you can see, there are piles of dog hair. There's a lot of mouse droppings, which are hard to see in this photo. There's dust and grime and grease everywhere. Everything on the shelves was just jammed in there, and a lot of it's still in boxes. And that was not organization, that's just chaos. And besides, there were bags and bags of beer cans, empty of course, and mouse poos and peas and dog pee on things that were important, like air filter pieces. So I initially started by grabbing all the stuff on the floor, the packages, opening them up, making sure that all the mouse poop and stuff is removed, that items that are of value are put on shelves. If it's not too important and it was disgusting, I tossed it. Usually that stuff was eaten food that was expired, or things that were books or magazines chewed by mice. A lot of what was in the packages I put right back on the shelves. If I was not sure if it was of any value, I'd hold it up in front of the owner and be like, hey, is this important? And usually the answer was, how the hell would I know? So I just put it on the shelf or tossed it in a pile of, what the hell does she know, pile. And we'll figure it out later. So the beer cans were pretty easy to grab. Most of them were kept in a plastic bag. That's great. I like that. The man who kind of hid in here in his man cave used to organize everything. Everything used to be clean. I was told he used to come in here and dust, and then he got into, of course, obviously the beer cans and whatnot. And everything kind of went downhill with health problems, depression, etc. So I was to come in here and sort through all this and get the gunk off the floor and get the rotten food out and take stuff out that was completely filthy with mouse poo and pee. If it could not be washed and it was not of value to the owner of the property, I was to toss it. So I did the best I could. I've sorted through a lot of piles on the right-hand side. There used to be stuff all the way up to those bookshelves and the chair. And a lot of things, you could see the outline of it on the floor of where stuff was sitting. There wasn't much of a walkway up to this point, but now there is. It's much more cleared. So it took quite a while. I'm not sure how somebody could walk through here without falling down. And there's definitely mouse skeletons laying on the stuff. So as I'm sorting, and there was some verbal confusion between me and the homeowner about what was to be cleaned. Now I am supposed to mop and wipe down all these items. And she is getting upset because I'm not going as fast as one day. She wanted me to do all this in one day by myself with I don't know what kind of magic miracle dust I have just floating around in my gloves. But yes, I did sort through tons. I started scraping with a shovel, sweeping, and definitely brooming off a lot of things. And of course, picking up packages and throwing away a ton of stuff. There must have been 3 or 4 trash cans full of almost pure mouse nest. And I got the beer cans out, cardboard boxes out, lots of trash, started organizing little bits of this and that until a lot of things were put back on the shelves. There's too many big things that I can't put on shelves, but they too are covered in mouse dust and mouse dust, poop. Can I just talk? Let me talk. Mouse poop and dust. There. Dyslexia is a bitch. So then I got to work on the bathroom. I had to take a lot of stuff out of here. And but I kept having to use this room because now I've got a mop. And so I did scrub down the fridge and clean behind the fridge and on the walls. And next we'll be scrubbing the rest of the floor if she so chooses I do so. And of course cleaning this bathroom.